You walk into a store. You see a price tag, $19.99. Your brain does not read that as $20. It reads it as 19. That 1 cent is doing more work than almost anything else in the store. It is quietly rewiring how you feel about the object in front of you. You didn't choose this. Nobody asked permission. But somewhere in your mind, a switch got flipped a long time ago, and it flips every time you shop. Here's the strange part. The switch isn't really about money. It's about how your brain reads numbers from left to right, then stops paying attention. For most of human history, there were no price tags. Your ancestors traded by feel, weight, size, freshness. If something looked big and solid, it felt valuable. That instinct never disappeared. It just got repurposed. In 2005, researcher Manoj Thomas found something called the left digit effect. People don't process $4 versus $3.99 as a 1 cent gap. Your brain locks onto the first digit and treats the rest as noise. $3.99 doesn't feel like $4 minus a penny. It feels like it starts with a 3. Feels almost too simple to work, doesn't it? It gets stranger. Researcher Sybil Yang tested restaurant menus with the dollar sign removed. Just the number, no symbol. Customers spent more. Why? The dollar sign is a tiny alarm reminding your brain that money is leaving your pocket. Remove it, and the number stops feeling like a cost. Your brain isn't doing math when it shops. It's doing pattern recognition, and patterns can be designed. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely once ran a subscription offer with 3 options. Web only for $59. Print only for $125. Print plus web, also $125. Nobody would choose print only over the combined deal at the same price. But that wasn't the point. With that option included, most people chose the expensive package. Remove it, and people shifted back to the cheaper one. The option nobody picked wasn't a mistake. It was a mirror, placed there to make the pricier choice look obvious. That's called a decoy. Once you know it, you see it everywhere. The extra-large popcorn priced barely above the medium. The was 80, now 45 tag anchored to a number that may never have been real. In the 1970s, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered anchoring. Once your brain sees a number, it uses that number to judge everything after it. Show someone a high number first, and every number that follows feels smaller by comparison. It doesn't matter if that first number was random. Stores don't need to lie to you. They just need to show you the right number first. So, think back to that price tag. $19.99. It isn't an accident. It's the end result of decades of testing, refined until it nudges a brain built for judging fish and baskets into judging plastic and glass the exact same way. Here's the unsettling part. None of this requires you to be careless. It isn't happening in the part of your brain that does arithmetic. It's happening in the part that formed value judgments long before arithmetic existed. You are not failing at logic. You are succeeding at being human, in a world built to exploit the instincts that once kept you alive. So what do you do with that? You don't need to distrust every price tag forever. You just need to notice. Next time you see a 9 at the end of a price, pause. Round it up in your head. Ask if you'd still want it at that number. That half-second pause pulls the decision back into the part of your brain that can actually do math. Your brain was never broken. It was built for a world without price tags or decoys on a menu. It was built to trust its senses and react fast. For most of human history, that kept people alive. Now it just decides what ends up in your cart. Tonight, when you check out somewhere, watch what happens in your own head. Watch how fast the decision comes and how confident it feels, even though no real math was involved, because that price tag was never really about the number. It was about you.